So there is some new competition on the block for the UFC as Global Fight League has announced their upcoming schedule for their first season after I believe about 3 years now in building up to this point. We're here to go over the whole league. I'm kind of at a loss for words because let's just go to the video. Let's go to their promo video because they can explain it way better than I ever could.
Introducing the world's
Let's see what they have to say
major
about it.
professional sports league. An evolution in sports and global competition.
An evolution.
This is the Global Fight League.
Wow. Dun, 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 dun. This is the most basic ass corporate shit, first of all. Just, come on, guys. A little bit of fucking life. Dun, dun, dun.
For the first time in history, a true league for mixed martial arts.
Couldn't get some normal video. You have to use AI.
Where
Like, come on, man.
independent franchise owners from around the world compete with their teams of fighters in a regular
Fighter
season and
teams?
playoffs
No
to
way.
determine an annual world championship.
Wow, a world
The
championship. That's
GFL
cool.
is structured to be the biggest league on earth.
Wow, the biggest league on earth. Wait
The
till you
Global
guys see the
Fight League
roster.
will implement the historically proven league and team-based business model used by FIFA, the NFL, NBA, NHL,
All team sports, mind you.
F1, and
The exception they use is F1 here. F1 has two people on a team, and they're in the same race together. They're not fighting different fights against different people. So that's not even accurate.
MLB.
MLB. So all of these are team sports that they're comparing their model to. So it's again, they're creating a team sport. I get that, but when have we ever seen that in MMA? And why would that work, dude?
Athletes and owners will be
let up
true
talk about it.
equitable partners with the league's 50-50 revenue share.
Oh, wow, dude. 50-50 revenue.
The GFL will launch with
What's
8
half and
teams
nothing?
based out of major global markets around the world that will battle for their place in history and earn the opportunity
Their
to
place in
become
history,
true
yeah.
world champions.
The very short history this company's
The
going to
sport
have.
of mixed martial arts stands as the third most popular
All
worldwide.
right, enough yapping. Yeah, I mean that's it. So let's go to the whole setup. So it's going to be based on cities, and they said this is international, so I'm assuming international cities here. And move myself up here. There's a draft, so they're drafting teams on January 24th, and I'll go over the roster in a second because that's really the biggest part of this whole story. But it's just a typical bracket style format, and we'll go over the points too. The points we'll go over first. So first of all, the points you get. I'll go over here. The points you get 1 point for a decision loss. So they're giving you a point for losing. First of all, so I think that's fucking ridiculous. Every fight has 4 points available. 4 points for a finish win, 3 for a decision win, 2 for a draw. So you get 2 points for doing nothing, pretty much, and 1 point for losing. So that already is like a red flag to me. Let's go over the roster, and I guess I will have to say all these names. We'll just do it one time for the one time here. Let me go. I'll go up here. All right. Listen to this fucking roster here. Tyron Woodley, Fabricio Verdum, Anthony Pettis. Okay, not bad, right? Kind of old, but Alexi Oleinik, okay, Junior Dos Santos, Hector Lombard, Luke Rockhold, who just lost grappling like last year, looked like shit. Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Vanderlei Silva, he's got to be like 60 now, right? Alex Gustafson, Tiago Santos, Andre Arlovsky, Lucas Martins, Gabriel Souza, Kevin Lee after his failed UFC return, Frank Mir. Fucking Frank Mir going to be in this shit. Bai Nguyen, Amir Khan, Al-Kazayev, whatever the fuck his name is. Charles Rosa, Alan Belcher, who I believe was in BKFC recently. Alir Latifi, Jeremy Stevens, the hardest hitting 145er. Marlon Marias, Benson Henderson, Guto and Conte, what the hell, Sente, whatever. Gegard Musasi, Carolina Owars, whatever the hell. Rusmar Pahalas. Francisco Trinaldo, Achilles Mauda, Greg fucking Hardy, brother. He should not, dude. All he's done since he left the UFC is get knocked the fuck out. He should not be anywhere near an octagon. Oh, here we can do that. Let's keep going. Rafael Carvalho, Lance Palmer, these people I don't really know much. Emiliano Sordi, Bubba Jenkins, obviously he's trash. Phil Hall is getting a spot in here, so he's going to get chinned by somebody. Robelis de Spain, after they just tried to launch him in the UFC, and he failed miserably. Marcus Perez, Raimundo Batista, Andre Somacatha, whatever the hell his name is. Pedro Carvalho, Cameron Else, Jimmy Rivera, Tanner Boser, John McDessie, Felipe Leans, Sidney Outlaw, Will Brooks, Andre Harrison, and Jan Cabral. Was there a good name on that list, honestly? Was there one single name on this entire list that you guys are like, wow, like they're in the league? Their main guy is Tyron Woodley and like Benson Henderson, dude. And all of these guys, all of them have done since leaving the UFC is fucking lose, to be honest. Is there one guy on this list we can pick out that hasn't just lost since he's left? I'm trying to look. No, honestly, no. All these guys have just fucking failed miserably since leaving the UFC. Fucking Tyron Woodley got knocked out by Jake Paul, bro. Just call it a fucking career, okay? Um, yeah, I mean, what a list. What a fucking list. And the main thing is we'll go over their website now because their whole model is the main thing is their 50-50 revenue share, as you saw, comprehensive support, so access to training resources, medical assistance, and promotional support to enhance their careers. So pretty much exactly what the UFC does anyway. Like at the PI, you get medical care there. Retirement benefits, a structured fund to secure fighters' financial futures after their careers in the ring. Yeah, okay, we'll see how that works out. Insurance coverage, got it. Global exposure, obviously not more than the UFC, not even close. And a fighter-centric model. Ooh, fighter-centric. That sounds good. Um, how do you expect to make money when people don't have money at this point to spend on UFC pay-per-views and the amount of pay-per-views sold will reflect that. You expect them to spend money to watch old washed up UFC fighters in a team-based model, and you think that that's going to generate enough money to A, offer enough in the revenue to make it 50-50 worth it, and B, to offer retirement benefits and insurance coverage long term. Absolutely fucking not. And the biggest reason I'm going to say this is because I looked pretty fucking hard into what their investment was to launch this thing, and the only hard line investment I could find was from Harrison Rogers, who is the owner of this F3 energy drink, which I've never fucking seen before. I don't know if any of you have seen it. Maybe it's not in the US, but I've certainly never fucking seen it. He owns this energy drink company, and he invested $10 million to secure a Phoenix based franchise in the Global Fight League. So that is the single investment I have seen in the entire league so far. And they're boasting 50-50 revenue splits and insurance and this and that and global exposure, and you saw the roster, man. I mean, this is not a small roster. The top 50 most followed fighters who signed with GFL. I don't even know if this is the entire roster. This is just they're saying the top 50 most followed. So where's the money going to come from? Because the guy that started it, it was a the guy that started it was a the COO and one of the founders essentially of PFL, which was Canadian Fight League to begin. He they turned it into PFL eventually, and he left there like 3 years ago to start this, and they're just now having their first season. And yeah, like I said, the draft is coming up in January, and then I guess the season's gonna kick off in like April or so. Main thing on their website is Tyron Woodley, and the only other thing on the website is a picture of Ben Sanderson. So that's what we're living and dying by, bro. Really? Oh wow. Um, my thoughts are this is not going to last more than 2 years. Maybe not even after this first season, because where the fuck is the money going to come from, dude? Who's going to pay to watch this? I fucking know damn well that the people that the hardcore UFC fans that are uh most likely streaming, totally credibly streaming the pay-per-views every weekend and watch everything and watch all the fights. They are not gonna fucking pay money. I'm not gonna pay money for this at all. If I can't stream it, I won't watch it. You know what I mean? So I don't know where they think this money's gonna come from. I don't know whether they think it's gonna be live gates. Um, but I certainly know there's not going to be that big of a market for washed up old UFC fighters that are all coming off of just losing streaks and have done fucking nothing since getting washed out of the UFC. And they go on Ariel's show, and Ariel's talking to Kevin Lee and Anthony Pettis, and they're trying to talk it up and how great it is and everything like that. It's like, come on, guys, you both know that you would rather be in the UFC, and they don't fucking want you anymore, and you're not worth it anymore for them, and that's the only reason why you're doing this shit. And while you can respect the hustle to an extent, this shit ain't gonna last, bro. And Ariel's talking about, oh, it's gonna rev. I don't even want to play the clips because he's probably gonna fucking nose his way into a copyright. But they're talking about how it's gonna revolutionize MMA. No, guys, fucking UFC revolutionized MMA, and everybody wants to complain about fighter pay and this and that. the UFC is now a publicly traded company. It's a business. It's an entertainment business. This is not a fucking charity. And everyone knows that watches it and watches all these fights and sees the progression of some of these guys' careers. As soon as these guys get some money, they get the fucking veneers, and all of a sudden they're fighting fucking once a year, maybe every other year or something like that. It just they sit on their ranking and they drag that out and get their endorsements and sit at home because they can get the now that you gave them this money, they can invest in this and that, and they can have these other endorsements and do all this other stuff that doesn't require them to be in the cage anymore, and honestly doesn't even benefit them to risk losing the fight and having any negative momentum or publicity for them. So yeah, God, dude, there's just some red flags here. Like fucking Frank. How old is Frank Mir, brother? How old is Frank Mir? 45, man. Like Frank Mir, Vanderlei Silva, 48. What are we like? What are we doing? Are we trying to have like put on a spectacle and like have one of these guys die? Is that what it is? Like I just don't get it. Final thoughts. It seems like there's about 4 or 5 women. I think I counted out on here. So it seems like each one of the teams will probably have one woman on it, and it seems like it'll be like 3 or 4 people on a team or something like that. So I don't know. We don't have the details about specifically how the draft is going to work. But it seems like they're going to draft 6 different teams. So I don't know, man. Like I'll watch it because it'll probably be funny if I don't have to pay for it. If I can figure out a way not to pay for it, but there's no fucking way in hell I'm paying for this shit. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same. Let me know what you think in the comments about this. I mean, PFL tries this whole point model and the whole this, and it just doesn't work, man. It's just not a good model. Nobody cares, man. Nobody like the UFC's done it, man, and I get people are trying to recreate it and do their own thing, but the fact of the matter is, people like the way it is, and trying to do this and then say, oh, it's because now look, guys, now you all complain about fighter pay, and now here we're giving them fighter pay. Nobody really gives a fuck, dude. They just like to bitch about shit. UFC fans just like to bitch about shit. That's just how it is. So, let me know what you think. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. I'll be back with some more UFC content, and this shit ain't gonna fucking last, dude. I'll be back here in a fucking year or two, writing a fucking obituary for this thing. So, we'll be back. Peace.